The horrifying real events behind these memes. Can I put the camera back now, please? There we go.
The "oh that's real nice" meme comes from an episode of the cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants.
I have never seen that meme be used in a genuine way ever. It's always used to make fun of someone.
Where Martin, a side character in the show, looks into a toilet bowl only to find a realistic looking SpongeBob floating inside.
Why? You got like the suspenseful music. Just...
The moment itself tied into the overall plot of that episode, but the meme that came out of it was meant to contrast someone doing an ordinary task like going to the toilet or clocking in at work with an unusual...
Oh, that's a severed head in a toilet in the restroom in Applebee's.
...usual or disturbing discovery. And while most of the posts mentioned completely fictional...
Nexpo accent. Are you guys... Are you guys ever happy about anything? Are you ever happy about... What? Okay, also, wait, you're making me distracted now. I'm picking too many fights. He laughed at a SpongeBob joke. Oh my god. Like, you didn't laugh at Patrick Star saying, "Is mayonnaise an instrument?" Like, you didn't laugh at that? You didn't find that funny? Come on. Grow up, man. It's like old SpongeBob was funny. It actually was funny. There were some jokes there that were hilarious.
The meme format referenced real events that actually happened. This particular incident took place at the Bethlehem wastewater treatment plant on January...
Not at 30, bro. Yeah, you're banned. Nah, fuck that shit. I'm finding you on the YouTube thing. Hang on. No. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, you said it in all caps as well. Ash YF, nice throwaway. And banned. Yeah, there you go. Timed out. Yeah, you're gone. I had to find you. That was, yeah, you were reaching there.
2000. A worker named Scott Batchman had clocked into his night shift at around 11 p.m. when he noticed a pink, fleshy object while cleaning out a catch basin. He took it out and rinsed it off to get a clearer look. However, nothing could have prepared...
Don't ban them, touch them.
...him for what that object turned out to be. Scott was holding one half of a human brain in his hand. It was a bit difficult to identify, but Scott's past work experience at a coroner's office allowed him to confirm that it was real and not a prop. He immediately contacted the authorities.
Oh my god, do a seance for him, bro. Like it's Has Been Hotel. Pull out the candles. Cry about it. Look, he was basically begging for it. Like spamming in all caps as well. Not 30, bro. If I was 30, I wouldn't find anything funny. I'd just kill myself.
Authorities and handed it over to...
Like, what? You're not meant to find SpongeBob funny after 30? Why do you think old people are so depressed? Why, you just go around to your grandparents' house? Like, no, you can't laugh at that, Nan. Grandma, you can't laugh at that. You're not allowed to have fun after 30, sorry.
This discovery happened on a Friday night, so a proper analysis didn't happen until Monday. However, according to initial reports, the brain looked like it was fresh and had not been in the sewer system for very long. The situation became worse when it was sent over to a DNA lab for testing, which confirmed that it belonged to a person. Unfortunately, authorities...
They did DNA. They did DNA on skin and they found out it belonged to a person.
Authorities had no matching DNA on record, making it impossible to determine whose brain it was. The treatment plant also...
They found a bit of brain and they found out it belonged to a person.
Received...
Well, I hope they come back to get it.
...waste from 13 different municipalities, so they couldn't link it to a nearby missing person report either. The question now was, how did a piece of human...
Did the person survive? Oh, that'd be alright.
...human brain end up in the sewer system in the first place? One possible explanation the authorities considered was that it came from a medical cadaver, suggesting that a medical student might have flushed it down the drain either on purpose or somehow by accident. However, the lack of any major decomposition pointed to a much darker possibility. The brain likely came...
Is the person okay?
...came from the victim of a homicide, with the killer attempting to destroy evidence by dismembering the body and flushing the pieces down the toilet.
They ate breakfast and then realized they ate breakfast.
One by one, and unfortunately, it seems their plan worked as intended. The investigators were never able to link the discovery to any reported crimes, leaving the case an unsolved mystery to this day.
So they just found brain in the sewer. and then it wasn't even resolved. It's like the worst house episode I've seen in my life. Oh my god, not this one. You serve yourself a glass of milk. You live in Mexico in June 1986.
The traumatized Mr. Incredible meme depicts a normal-looking Mr. Incredible next to a haunting, uncanny version of him. The template uses a before and after format to highlight how hidden context changes a person's...
When someone brushes your legs in the woods, when something brushes your legs in the sea.
Perspective, where people who don't know see a surface-level image or phrase and remain blissfully ignorant, represented by a smiling Mr. Incredible.
This is like a horror equivalent of Know Your Meme.
In contrast, people who know understand the dark, tragic, or disturbing reality behind the subject, represented by his...
I'm from Mexico. It was radioactive. Are you the guy I timed out? Are you back again already? No, you're someone else.
Hollow-eyed, traumatized face. This specific version of the meme refers to a silent tragedy that occurred in many parts of Mexico in the late 1980s, and the cause for it originated over 7,000 miles, or more than 11,000...
The only thing I know about Mexico, which everyone seems to know, is they've got the best Coca-Cola. Because they use like cane sugar or something.
Kilometers away in Ukraine. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear plant suffered the worst nuclear disaster in history. During a botched safety test...
Behind the meme. Is he alive? I remember when people thought he was going to actually take his own life and people started blaming me for it. And then people found out, I remember people commenting being like, I hope you're happy. You've made someone, you've drove someone to end their own life. And then people found out that it was literally just, yeah, there we go. Oh my God. I used to do 12-minute videos. Dude, I gotta go back to that format. What the hell? God, I really hope Daily Slop actually... I hope my Daily Slop actually falls off so I can go back to videos like that. What's he doing now? Oh, the last video was Hawk Tour. And the Borg. The Borg. That concoction of evil. That was really his last video.
No, I didn't learn to speak German.
Yeah, not watching that. Absolutely not watching that. He looks a little bit like Brandon Rogers. You know, voices Moxie in A Hell of a Boss. I hate that that's the first thing my brain goes to. Like, he's done so many other things apart from that. He's done so many other things apart from that.
A massive power surge caused Reactor 4 to explode, releasing a plume of radioactive fallout that drifted across Europe. The immediate blast killed 2 workers, while dozens more lost their lives to acute radiation sickness shortly after trying to contain the fallout. However, by the time they were able to enclose the malfunctioning reactor, it had already spread massive clouds of toxic, radioactive particles across Europe.
I remember they basically lied during Chernobyl and they were like, yeah, nothing happened. And then I think it was like Finland or Sweden that picked up like radiation, and then Russia was like, we may have trolled a little bit. Oh, it's Blitzo. Oh, it's Blitzo from Hell of a Boss. Okay. No, that's a save, though. That shows I'm not a fan. That's a save. Thank God. That's a... Oh, thank you.
Mexico...
Nice save, nice save.
In theory, should have been far enough from the disaster site to stay unaffected. In reality, government corruption and greed turned it into a problem that ordinary Mexicans were forced to live with in their day-to-day lives. You see, radioactive particles from the Chernobyl meltdown contaminated crops and livestock across Europe and Asia, making a significant portion of their food unsafe for consumption. Ireland was among the more heavily affected countries, with thousands of tons of milk in the region becoming...
Thank you, Dlooper, for the 6. Oh my God, we have the hairstylist in chat right now. The hair is alright, but you'd suit it longer, grow it out, and a wolf cut. There's just longer hair. And then also pick colors that don't contrast your baby rat pink skin. Baby rat pink skin. Like, is he trying to help me here, or is he trying to drive me to suicide? I don't know. I don't like. That's such a passive aggressive dono. Rat baby pink skin. So he calls me a rat. And then he actually gives good hairstyle advice. The hair did look like that, by the way. And then I slept in it, like I said.
Radioactive. The Irish government tried to get rid of
I gotta write that name down, actually. The wolf cut. I gotta learn how to copy that. Hang on. Pushing 30 doesn't know how to do his hair award. Okay. Perfect.
this contaminated milk by selling it to poorer countries. And after getting rejected by Brazil, they reached an agreement with the Mexican government to sell 40,000 tons of radioactive powdered milk at discounted prices. The toxic milk reached Mexico in June 1987 and was then distributed across the country by a state-owned company called Conasupo. It made its way into ordinary households where consumers had no idea they were drinking what was essentially poison.
It's like that bit in the first Hulk film, or maybe it was the second one, where it was like Edward Norton. And there's this scene where like it shows that this infected drink is going around America, and they've got a Stan Lee cameo, and he drinks it and dies. Is this the original one? Yeah, it is Edward Norton. But he drinks it. He drinks it and then he dies. Well, they don't show him dying, but he died.
The truth finally came out when Navy Vice Admiral Manuel Rodriguez Gordillo commissioned a
Edwin? I said Edward.
nuclear physicist to test the milk. And as it turned out, the milk the Mexican government bought from Ireland exceeded 10 times the permitted limits of radioactivity. The government initially tried to suppress the news by accusing the whistleblower of defamation, stripping them of their position, and putting them in prison. But the backlash got bad enough that the government was forced to issue a complete recall by January 1988. Unfortunately, the damage was already done. Over the following decade, the number of children suffering from cancer skyrocketed drastically. Many endured life-altering deformities, while countless others lost their lives because of it. Even those who survived the initial radiation poisoning now face a higher risk of developing cancer later in life.
Reminds me of that story of like Agent Orange, how they were spraying that everywhere.
To me, it seems like January always starts the same way. New resolutions, new projects,
You basher for the 10?
and a packed schedule right
Why can I tell this is an ad?
out the gate. It can feel like this any time of the year, but you
Oh man, I hate being a YouTuber. You get like a 6 cents for that stuff. I hate that. My face when... It's just my face when, and then that absolutely horrific image. My face when I'm urban exploring in China and find an abandoned area. It reeks of rotting flesh, and I almost consider turning back, but I persist. I turn a corner and look down, and am greeted by the sight of dozens of fossilized child corpses floating in a murky and deep puddle.
the deeply
What do you mean that story? Like you tell it to your kids every night.
unsettling Mr. Incredible meme illustrates a person's reaction to discovering something truly horrifying. The template is often paired with a caption highlighting disturbing events or shocking facts, and this particular use of it is no different. It summarizes the horrific sight a Chinese explorer named the Beanbag Adventures uncovered in February 2022. Beanbag's content on Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok, revolved around him exploring abandoned buildings and showcasing any interesting finds. However, one of these adventures spiraled into a nightmare his viewers could have never imagined. The video started with him entering an abandoned hospital or lab of
Not even a meme, but who yaps that much in a meme? Yeah, I was going to say, it's like my face when... You know that? You seen that thing like leftist memes be like... Wait, let me... let me explain this quick little meme to you. And it's just all those words...
of some kind.
Like, that image is so shrunk down, it probably actually used to say something once.
It was extremely run down and appeared to have been vacant for over a decade, if not more. Broken furniture, torn clothes, and glass jars were everywhere. But what really caught Beanbag's attention weren't these items. He was more drawn to the overpowering smell that was filling the whole building. Curious, he decided to find its source.
Brap.
He followed the paths where the smell grew stronger and eventually reached a strange, dilapidated room with a pool in the middle of it. He looked inside the pool and before showing it to his viewers claimed that it was filled with movie props. The pool was filled with what looked like the remains of dozens of children floating in a mysterious liquid. He spent barely a minute inside this room before the smell became too unbearable and he had to run out gagging for air. The horrifying
How are we saying Chinese Logan Paul?
Sight left most of his viewers
Okay, wait, it could be Chinese Logan Paul, actually.
in shock, with many also trying to figure out if any of it was real. But for now, many accepted his movie
How do you say in Chinese? Guys, I think there's someone hanging right there.
explanation and didn't question
How do you say that in Chinese? Someone translate for me?
it further, especially since the alternative was far too gruesome for most to even contemplate. A lot of the remains also showed few signs of decomposition, making it easier to buy into the prop theory. However, the possibility of these remains being real became impossible to ignore when Beanbag returned to the same location 10 months later. This time, he decided to explore the rest of the building.
Is there anyone Chinese in chat that could translate that? Okay. I need to find out exactly what he said. Whatever. Okay, let's try it. Detect language, English to Chinese. Chinese. I never know whether it's Chinese simplified or traditional. I always get a bit confused about that one. Alright. Fuck off. Guys. I think there's someone hanging right there. Okay, right, let's listen.
伙计们，我觉得有人掉在那儿。
伙计们，
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 我觉得有人掉在那儿。
我觉得有人 Wait, say it
伙
slower.
计们，
Wait, slower.
伙计
伙计
们，
们，
我觉得有人掉在那儿。
不要在那，不要在那，
伙计们，
伙计们，
我觉得有人掉在那儿。
不要在那。Okay, we've got it. I now know Chinese. I am now Chinese. Okay, very good, chat, very good. And they say streamers don't educate.
Before going back to the pool room. Unfortunately, the other locations proved to be just as disturbing. I can't show most of this on YouTube, but he discovered rooms full of extremely realistic human skeletons, children's toys and
What the hell is he doing?
masks, and a few glass jars with what looked like human fetuses stored inside them. Things somehow got even worse when he returned to the pool room and found things that weren't there before.
Yeah, I said it right. Get Chad Roberts, he's Chinese. I would actually call him right now. But I think he's traveling.
Like glass jars and children's clothes on the ground, and most unsettling, a blue tarp partially covering the pool. This showed that someone else had been in that room in the last 10 months. But that wasn't even the worst part. The most disturbing part of Beanbag's second visit came when he pointed his camera at the pool. It not only contained more remains than before, but many of the previous ones were also noticeably more decomposed than last time, disproving his movie prop claim. Though, given what people now know about the situation, it seemed he called them movie props just so he could feign ignorance in case he ever got into trouble. It also helped in keeping the videos from getting removed from the platform. Put simply, Beanbag and now most of his audience suspected that this room was a part of an illegal organ harvesting operation known as a corpse factory.
I would not be walking on those stairs, bro.
You see, China has one
That's the kind of stairs in a video game that break away so you can't go back.
of the lowest organ donor rates in the world due to cultural reasons. Yet, despite this limitation, the process of actually getting an organ for a transplant is relatively easy as long as you have the money. That's because most of these organs are said to come from China's massive black market where merchants illegally abduct victims to meet the demand. Some reports also claim that the Chinese government is somehow involved in this operation as well, with it allegedly harvesting from minority prisoners that aren't even on death row. Even if the government wasn't involved, Beanbag was putting a target on himself by possibly exposing such a large-scale criminal operation. So, acting clueless was his best bet. But even then, his safety wasn't guaranteed. Fans were worried about his well-being. This concern became even more substantial when Beanbag's Douyin account got terminated out of nowhere.
They found him. They found him when they took his kidneys. It's over.
Shortly after posting
It's kid over.
the second video, viewers believed that whoever Beanbag exposed was trying to silence him before the story could spread further. Though it
definitely took his kidneys, without doubt.
Just as they were about to lose hope, Beanbag returned to the internet with new videos. However, the 2 videos of him exploring the hospital were now deleted from his account.
Why does your hair look like Acilius O'Hare? Who is that? How do you spell that? Aloysius O'Hare. Okay, the Vade S. Pollitt guy. Mods. Just break his skull. Just break his skull. Make sure his mom watches as well.
Beanbag also kept posting more videos exploring other abandoned buildings and never even brought up the hospital again. If someone was trying to silence him, wouldn't it be easier to make him disappear, or at the very least keep him off the internet forever? So, what's going on here? Well, the internet has come up with many theories trying to solve this very question, but nearly all of them contain contradictions or details that don't align with the known facts. The most popular of these theories is that the room was used to discard victims after harvesting their organs. But here's the thing, if someone was actually running a massive criminal operation, wouldn't it be much safer for them to hide the evidence in mass...
Now, we're not calling it a Reddit upvote fade. When Reddit upvote fade? Really? Really? With a clippy profile picture in the big 26 as well.
Graves or use industrial incinerators to cremate the remains, especially if the Chinese government was involved, as many suspect. As for his account getting temporarily banned, that could be explained by Doyen simply taking it down due to the excessive gore his videos showed, which is also why he was allowed to return.
Why is he Chinese Joker? What?
Deleting those videos. Alternatively, some also believe that this room was the trophy room of sorts for a serial killer. But the sheer number of victims makes that highly unlikely, even if it was a group of multiple killers. Then there's also the possibility that Beanbag faked the whole thing to go viral, or that it was an art project of sorts. And while he wouldn't be the first one to try something like this, the remains in the pool were way too real to be fabrications. Beanbag would also have to spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to commission such a large quantity of props for both videos.
I mean, you're saying if a TikTok is fake, even if it's Chinese TikTok.
Without getting any real return on his investment, so the remains were most likely real. Unfortunately, there's no way for us to determine how they got there. Beanbag stopped uploading in April 2024 and hasn't returned to the internet.
I mean, you say it didn't gain anything. The video went viral. I mean, you're talking about it.
Since. He also never shared the location of the building, so no one else can investigate it either. And as far as I was able to find, the authorities never looked into this, leaving this whole thing unsolved, possibly forever.
Why is he doing like a crep check after showing off dead people? All you did was take a pill. Your boss gave it to you for your UTI. You haven't slept in months. You know you'll die. What will happen to your son? Oh, what a relatable meme. I remember that meme with Migusta. Is that the Geiger's face behind it as well? The exact same face from Earthbound. I remember when people were traumatized by this, by the way. It's like the final boss of Earthbound or something. It's, it's a face and it's kind of skewed. Oh. Nah, to be fair, I remember as a kid watching YouTube videos about that and I was like, oh my god, it's kind of scary. It's about abortion.
Meme recounts the tragic...
There was a Doom mod about abortion. It was called Root Pain or something. I saw a video on that. That was weird.
Life of Ricard Siagon, a 48-year-old tattoo artist from Philadelphia who lost everything he had in a single year. Ricard had 2 passions in life, his only son and art. He created music, did photography, and eventually settled into a career as a tattoo artist. He also shared videos of his tattoo work on YouTube quite often, likely just to document his own progress. Every second he wasn't working, he spent with his son. He had a...
How does abortion make him think of Doom? I saw this video, and it was like... There's this video talking about a Doom mod that was you going inside a woman's uterus to abort a child. It's really weird. Very short game, though. I could probably show it, to be fair. It's like only like a minute long. It's really weird. I think I saw a video on it and the dev was saying how he just made it out of like pure edge. I'm not doing a main channel video on this, by the way, if anyone wants to know, so shut up. Very weird mod to make, though. Does he do anything else? That's how it happens. Yeah, a little Doom guy goes into your uterus with a pump-action shotgun. This was sitting in your head? No, idiot, it was relevant. Yeah, I think about this every day. As a pregnant woman, I think about this every day. Isn't there some baby that spawns in or something? Oh, there we go. It's weird. Doom mods are weird. Apparently the baby has like 9 billion HP, so you can't kill it.
A seemingly perfect life and was still striving to do better for the only person in his life. Unfortunately, this perfect life was ripped away from Ricard in 2015. This was the
fetus jump scare.
Year he moved to Philadelphia and started working there as a tattoo artist.
The final boss is the bill. Anyways.
However, months into his new employment, he contracted a urinary tract infection, or UTI.
Thank you, Timmy. Time for the 2. Yo, we look alike. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
For short. The pain was so severe that it made it impossible for him to work. But since his insurance didn't cover UTIs, he couldn't afford to go to a doctor.
I beg you.
With no option, Ricard spoke to his...
Okay, let me see if I can find it. This is going to take like... Muds, could you send that message that was in the media channel? I want to have a look. Oh, the hair is so flat, bro. I should have actually blow dried it or something this morning. Yeah, I should have... Anyways. Minigun can't kill baby, but coat hanger. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of that one.
Boss about his illness.
I'm not reading the rest of that one.
Was hoping for help or at least some guidance. And as it turned out, his boss had...
That's really the image they used? You think that hair's better? Are we... Nah, you don't think that hair's better. You're... Nah. Thanks for the link, conniving. There's no way you think that's better. You are joking. Oh, my hairline was so much better then. I should have started Finasteride earlier. I just always look like a... You know what I hate about you guys so much? Like, genuinely as well. You know what I hate? I had my stylist, my hairstylist yesterday. Really nice woman. She's great. She's so sweet. I love her. And then she says to me, right? She goes... I see a lot of comments on your video. They call you a lesbian? And I just have to sit there and explain the whole law. And then she goes to me like, you're not gay, are you? And I was like, no. No. That was great, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you. Seriously. Thanks, guys. I'm meeting people outside of the internet. And you fuckers are still somehow finding a way to sabotage it.
Also gone through a UTI recently. His boss still had some of the antibiotics his doctor prescribed, which he happily handed over to Ricard. Ricard was a bit skeptical at first, but a single dose dramatically reduced his pain. So he kept taking the antibiotics and was soon well enough to return to work. But before he could celebrate his recovery, Ricard noticed another major health concern. He was experiencing insomnia, making it difficult for him to sleep each night. Unfortunately, that was only the beginning. The insomnia was getting worse with each passing day. 4 months in, and it became severe enough to prevent him from sleeping altogether.
I get really bad insomnia. Really bad. And then I put my phone down.
None of the treatments he tried worked, and he was...
Wait a minute. You're telling me to get 8 hours, I gotta leave my phone outside of the room? Oh, but there's a really funny IG reel about Israel I need to send to my edgy friend group. Oh, no.
rapidly running out of options.
I simply can't. I simply can't.
So, in January 2016, he uploaded a video asking for the internet's help, titled, Che Fatal Insomnia Neurotoxin Induce, CNS Seeking Neuroscience Hospital Support or Stem Cell Hope, where he went over all the disturbing...
I like your hair, where can I buy it? Yeah, ban him as well. It's so obviously a throwaway as well. Like he's got like the thing where like on Google, when he made the Google account for YouTube, it's like the letter of the first... It's the first letter is his profile picture. It's so obviously a throwaway.
Details of his condition.
My brain also looking forward to sleep, but the activity of the brain is never calmed down. It's been 4 months since my brain is active. It never sleep. It never want to go down. And when my body asks my brain that I need to rest and sleep, there's no connection, but there is a feedback. There is a really...
Thank you, Cookie, for the 10. Do you plan on making a video about the Total Chaos remake? That is literally what we're working on right now. That's the next video.
painful feedback, physical feedback, and neuron feedback.
Ricard explained his condition as fatal familial insomnia, a devastating neurological disorder that essentially locks the brain in a state of permanent wakefulness. It's caused by a genetic mutation that targets the thalamus.
I think the worst thing is as well, like if you don't get a couple of days sleep, you will actually start to hallucinate as well.
Section of the brain responsible...
You'll just go insane.
...for transitioning the mind from consciousness into sleep. What made the already terrible situation even more tragic was that he was also separated from his son. He had to return to Indonesia due to his mother's hospitalization, but the insomnia now left him bedridden, unable to fly back to his son in Philadelphia. Ricard still wanted to do everything in his power to survive for his son, but the constant unbearable pain was also sapping away his will to...
Imagine dying to not sleeping. That is, like, I'm not even doing a bit. That's probably a lot more common than you think.
...live.
You know, I need life. You know, I have my sons in Philadelphia now. I left him. You know, I have no choice. You know, because I don't want to leave him. I need life. I need to survive. You know, I don't want him to lose me. I don't want to lose him.
From there, Ricard kept posting updates on his condition and even shows...
It's not estrogen pills. It's L-theanine. Look, man, I get this every stream. Like, anytime you see me put a pill in my mouth, you think it's drugs. There we go. Look, it's in tea. Promoting relaxation and alertness without drowsiness. Alpha brain waves. Look, I'll show you how it helps with ADHD. Look at this. It shows no actual evidence.
I must say, if you were able to get half of your money back from your barber, you'd be able to fund Petscop 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21. L.
All I heard was 6-7. That's all I heard. And ironically, all I heard was 6-7.
What happens anytime he tried to sleep. But
wait, there's hang on. Caffeine. I did read somewhere, if you mix it with caffeine, it works. L-theanine combined with caffeine shows promise for ADHD by improving sustained attention, focus, inhibition control, potentially reducing mind wandering. Okay, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. We've seen that this stream.
Ricard wasn't suffering from...
It's not working.
...fatal familial insomnia.
They should use me as like their first official study.
Because that...
No, it said limited research.
...disease is genetic. It's not something someone can just...
Look, man, I'm not going to be like clavicular or androgen, just like spamming retibutide or whatever it is, like 7 times a day. That's pretty moderate stuff.
Out of nowhere, and no one in his family had...
It's not placebo.
this prior to him. Instead, Ricard's neurological issues were the side effects of ciprofloxacin, the antibiotic Ricard took from his boss for his UTI. Ciprofloxacin falls under a type of drug known as fluoroquinolones, and they are incredibly dangerous.
Fluoroquinolones can cause side effects, tendon problems, nerve damage, mental health effects, worsening muscle weakness.
Taking them without proper precaution can cause total neurological degradation. Unfortunately, even after knowing what it was, Ricard couldn't do anything, and his condition was getting worse with each passing day. He was starting to get delirious and began posting rants that made little sense.
You laugh like a sped kid. Are you a member? Ah, poor. Ah, poor. It's okay. It's okay. Poor. Jobless complaining again.
It's never been a theory. It's a practice. So the word that create...
Unc doesn't know. I know what he's saying, but he did it in the TTS of Rick Sanchez.
By the system.
Without sleep, the cells in his body were also starting to die, leaving him even more immobilized than before. He received some hope from a doctor in Beijing who offered a cutting-edge procedure that had previously worked for one patient. However, the procedure's cost was beyond what Ricard could afford. And while he did set up a fundraiser, the donations never reached the required amount. And after struggling with his condition for over a year, Ricard sadly passed away on the 6th of December 2016 in Indonesia.
Could you imagine if, like, this guy who covered this actually talked about it when he was alive? Not saying it's his responsibility, but, like, then that money could have actually been raised. That's horrible. I wonder how you could even fix that, though, because he was basically going through cell death because of the antibiotics he was on. So how could you even fix that? Like a full blood transfusion or something? Okay, this looks like one of those like really ironic memes you see on Instagram that just make no sense, and then you'll see it on Reddit saying explain the joke. It's war behind this one. Laughing. I don't get this one. This is like a riddle. You were supposed to be a doctor. Oh yeah, sorry, I don't know about like a specific kind of antibiotic that affects your body to the point that you get insomnia and cellular death as a side effect that wasn't even officially listed on the packaging. My bad. Oh, it's almost like he never went to medical school. He just wanted to.
Mr. Incredible in this instance is a reference to the death of Isaiah Fitzgerald, an 18-year-old teen from Missouri who lost everything due to an internet argument. The incident happened on April 25th, 2023, when a guy
I said I'm sorry.
Named
What is this? What just came up here? What is this? How do I get rid of that? Anyway. Dude, that's the first guy in chat that I bullied and he actually said sorry. You pussy! You bitch! You actually backed down! Coward! Okay, I want everyone to laugh at him. This is gonna be like a hazing ritual now. Everyone point and laugh at the guy that actually apologized after I called him out.
Watkins uploaded a new profile picture on Facebook with his girlfriend,
I was
to which
promised
Isaiah
farts,
reacted.
But piss will do. Get on with it, furry lesbian twink.
Thank you, Perk, for the 10. We will be doing quarantine after this. There will be some farts.
With a laughing reaction. The two were friends on Facebook, but it's unclear how close they were. Regardless of their connection, Tanner did not take kindly to Isaiah's reaction and called him out in the post comments. Their discussion quickly divulged into an argument and ended with the two agreeing to meet each other in person to settle things. The vast majority of internet arguments usually end here, with both sides moving on with their lives.
I'd be on Facebook laughing like a motherfucker. I don't even care about you. Definitely feel some type of way. Damn, we're really out here posting our Cash App on Facebook. When I win a bet, hell yeah. Your ugly ass don't even know what's going on, but got an opinion.
However, both Tanner...
God, I sounded so fucking white reading all that out. That was painful.
And
I'm not reading out the rest of the texts. You guys can do it yourself.
Isaiah...
What do you mean, W speed?
We're serious about this confrontation. After agreeing on the spot and time, they met up at the Rotary Park in Cycle.
Don't do it. Don't do it. This is so unfunny.
6767676767676.
I'm just skipping. I'm unfunny. Unfunny award.
Yes, Pyro, bully the child. Soon we can say the gamer word again. 2016 will rise again.
Thank you all, Pyro, for the 10.
And unfortunately, neither side was open to a discussion. As soon as they got close to each other, both opened fire from their cars. Isaiah was fatally shot seconds after the shootout started and passed away before help could arrive. The 18-year-old girl Isaiah brought with him also received life-threatening injuries. Fortunately, she managed to pull through after multiple surgeries.
Why would they use an image of a pistol from like a video game? That's not a real gun. That's not real. Why would you use that for an image?
Goon, little gay boy, you need to goon. I've heard that Turkey offers great deals for hair transplants. Might be worth looking into for your greasy scalp ass, Mount Everest forehead ass, Appalachia chin's ass, no games body frame.
Okay, first of all, banned. Second of all, don't try and refund. Third of all, that was a Homer Simpson TTS. That one's new. Why does he sound so zesty? Was he in the closet for like 40 years? That was meant to be Homer Simpson, by the way. Look, man, if he's a bit zesty, he wants to leave Marge, I get it, right? But like, okay, don't come into my chat with that, like, unfunny bit.
As for Tanner,
why did he sound like that?
He somehow managed to avoid conviction
Yeah, he sounds like Plankton. He actually sounded like Plankton.
For the death of Isaiah, though he was eventually sentenced to 7 years in prison for an unrelated shooting in
Pyro,
2025.
I just wanted to say thank you for inspiring me to lose weight. I'm down 30 pounds.
Good to hear, man.
The idea of looking like one of your commissions absolutely scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, skipping that one. Yep. I hope you run out of your Ozempic. I hope you run out of your Ozempic subscription. I hope to God. I pray that it runs out. What a lovely day on September 30th, 1982, in Winfield, Illinois. I have used this bottle of Tylenol to relieve post-birth discomfort. This bottle oddly smells like almonds. That is very weird. Doesn't that mean cyanide? Can't speak there, little bro. Why is the 30-month member calling me ESL?
This meme is about a deadly attack that happened in Chicago in 1982 regarding Tylenol pain relief capsules. On the morning of September 29, a 12-year-old girl named Mary Kellerman took a capsule of extra-strength Tylenol to soothe a sore throat, but instead of feeling relief, she collapsed and passed away shortly after. That same
What do you mean, hell nah?
Same day,
50k yen? What do you mean, terrible idea? Not sexual? What's even the point? Yeah, to be fair, like every 2 seconds it's sex joke and then swearing.
27-year-old postal worker named Adam Janis.
Please waste your money on it.
Also,
I need to do what Schlatt did. You remember when he had like a merch drop and stuff just so he could buy a gorilla? That statue of a gorilla? You remember that, right? Hang on. There it is. Yeah, it was a gorilla with its nuts out. And he basically had to, I think he sold it now. But he tried to do a merch drop just so he could buy it.
Took Tylenol.
I love tax write-offs. I love them.
For his headache. Seconds later, he suffered what appeared to be a heart attack and tragically passed away.
It's going to be a has-been hotel, but fat. No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. I wouldn't do that to you guys.
While his
because that makes it worse than verbalize.
Family gathered to mourn his death. His brother Stanley and sister-in-law Teresa each took Tylenol from the same bottle Adam had used.
What does Tylenol do against it? Sleep aid? It's a pain relief fever reducer. Dude, you know how I found, Critical? How he always talks about how he can't sleep, so he plays video games and stuff. He made this one post saying, "You're the melatonin gummy I'm about to take," and his mouth was like. I found out that in Australia, melatonin is banned. It's like one of the few countries that's banned it. You can get it as a prescription, and that's it. You can't buy it like in store. That's so bizarre how it's a controlled substance.
Within
why?
hours, those two were dead as well. By the time the connection was made, 3 more people, including 27-year-old Mary Reiner, 31-year-old Mary McFarland, and 35-year-old Paula Prince, had also lost their lives. Testing revealed that the Tylenol capsules they had consumed were laced with potassium cyanide, one of the deadly...
I said it. I said cyanide. I said it. Almonds. I said it. I said it. I am paying attention. You see? You see?
Poisons in the world.
It can lower blood pressure. Breathing is banned in Australia. That's also true.
And since the victims were spread across different suburbs,
Your has-been hotel animation would be Mimsy instead of Charlie. Be real, little bro.
Who's Mimsy? Oh, is that the... Okay.
Just quickly realized this
All right, less of that.
wasn't a manufacturing error. Someone had gone into local grocery...
I would do it just for the reaction. I'd make sure it's a good animation, though. But I would do it just for the reaction.
stores and farm.
Because seeing the molding after Fear and Hunger came out was absolutely hilarious.
Pulled bottles off the shelves, laced the capsules with...
There was a drug that women used to take in this time period. For pregnancy. To stop nausea. Wait, this is... No, it wasn't Tylenol. Maybe it was Tylenol.
Poison and put them back to be purchased by unsuspecting strangers.
No, what was that? Hang on. There was a drug that people took. Thalidomide. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Thalidomide. Yes. In the 60s. It was prescribed to women, and it basically... the children were just born terribly deformed. Like, horrendously deformed. Like, birth defects and everything. It's a medication used to treat cancers. It was used to treat HIV. Cause blood clots, leukemia. No, not leukemia. Leukopenia. Peripheral neuropathy. How did the FDA approve that? It does like 10, like it deals with one thing and then gives you 10 different other like debuffs.
Down the toilet one by one. And
FDA approved is crazy. I mean, come on, it's the FDA. Are you for real? Come on. Like, they're a joke.
Unfortunately, it seems their plan worked as intended. The investigators were never able to link the discovery to any reported crimes, leaving the case an
What about Mammoth from Hell of a Boss? You mean Mammon, right? The fat jester character?
unsolved mystery to this day.
Wait, why have we gone back in time? What happened? We went back in time. Hello.
They them back to be purchased by unsuspecting strangers. Investigators had no way of knowing how many other poison bottles were still on the shelf. So, in an unprecedented move, the makers of Tylenol, Johnson &
Wait, it's all about money? Wait, you're telling me that the pharmaceutical industry profits off sick people? What? And they rush drugs out without properly testing them? I'm gonna smoke on my my schizo cigar. I need some time to process this truth nuke.
Johnson stepped forward. They issued a nationwide
I mean, mate, I'll be honest, like, I mean, it's a good example, right? McDonald's ingredients, America versus UK. I mean, UK is probably a bit more washed now, to be fair. That is terrible. It's so terrible that it's on Facebook. That's how terrible it is. I can't even read all that. I just know there's less words here, more words there. So that means it's bad. What are the measurements again? Bruh. Half a liter is small. I want to go down that whole rabbit hole of like comparing UK and America, but we're not going to do it this stream. I got to do quarantine.
Recall of approximately 31 million bottles, a value of over $100 million at the time. Authorities also
less word equals good. I mean, unironically,
urged the public.
Imagine like the UK one. It has less ingredients, and then it just has listed like AIDS. It has less words though, so it's good.
Not to take any Tylenol product, and for good reason. In the early 1980s, over-the-counter medicine was sold in simple bottles with easy-to-open caps. There were no plastic neck seals, no foil liners, and no tamper-evident stickers. The realization that a complete stranger could turn a common household item into a weapon of mass murder changed this mindset overnight. In response to the tragedy, the FDA introduced stringent new regulations. Within 6 months, Tylenol returned to shelves in the first ever triple seal packaging. This included a
childproof cap and a foil safety seal,
glued outer box, a plastic wrap around the cap, and a foil seal over the mouth of the bottle.
So that's literally why you get seals over stuff now, solely because of that Tylenol thing.
However, even this was not a perfect solution.
What's in your mouth? It's a chapstick.
In the months and years following the attack, police stations across the US were flooded with hundreds of copycat reports. And while many of these were hoaxes, some turned out to be legit. Like in 1986, when 23-year-old Diane Ellsroth died after taking a Tylenol capsule laced with cyanide in New York. That same year, another medication named Excedrin was targeted in Washington state, leading to 2 more deaths. These attacks forced the pharma industry to evolve this packaging further and make poisoning more difficult. However, while the attack led to an overall positive change, the original 7 victims never received the justice they deserved. Despite a massive investigation, a $100,000 reward for information, and several suspects, no one was ever charged with the actual murders. One of the suspects, named James Lewis, actually contacted Johnson & Johnson, claiming he would stop the killings if they sent him $1 million in ransom.
Yeah, that's smart. Hi, so I'm the guy that killed everyone. Could I have some money, please, and I'll stop doing it? Yeah, cheers.
Investigation revealed that he had nothing to do with the actual attack.
He just wanted $1 million.
Just trying to take advantage of an already tragic situation.
So, he risked jail time to get money he would never receive. Like, that is actually your unemployed friend on a Tuesday. Like you have nothing to gain over that. God, like, they really, like, back then there was no TikTok. They actually had nothing to do, man.
The most popular theory is that this attack was carried out by one of Johnson & Johnson's competitors to ruin their reputation, which makes a lot of sense considering Tylenol's market share dropped from 35% to 8% following the incident. That said, it could still have been the work of a deranged serial killer intent on claiming as many lives as possible. Unfortunately, investigators found no solid clues like fingerprints or CCTV footage that could help us confirm or deny these theories.
So they never found out who it was. The fact that the attacks were all over America as well is scary stuff. Right, okay.